YouTube. Someone's coming over here. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1193. That's right, episode number 1193 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today from Red Morton Park. It is day 25. So it's not day 25, sorry, day 23. No, sorry, it is day 25. Jesus. It's day 25 of the GNA Positivity Challenge. And today we're going to be talking about you're only as strong as your weakest link. Hey, babe, how you doing? I saw you in the chat there. Hey, love, respectfully, maturely, and professionally is in the house. My lovely lady Dawn, who's just kicking back and chilling at home. I'm going to take this walk and update our wonderful community here at the GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association, and then going to go home and have some dinner with my lady and relax a bit. 2 days away from Thanksgiving. Hopefully you've already arranged all of your plans. I'm going to come over here because there are some people coming. All right. All right. I think we're good. I think we are good. I thought there was more than one person coming, but we're good. Yeah, a couple days away from Thanksgiving, and hopefully you have your plans all set. Don and I are going to be going out of town to a secret location with her family. Right, babe? It's a secret location. Huh, baby? Come on. It's a secret location, right? Anyway. Oh boy, I gotta tell you, top secret. That's right. That's right, baby. That's right. Dawn has now inherited the phrase, isn't that right, baby? That's right. Yeah. Those of you that have been around for a long time, for 7, 8 years, probably know where that stems from. Anyway. You're only as strong as your weakest link. You know who gave me that idea? My lovely lady Dawn. She's been coming up with some phenomenal ideas lately. I mean, she always does, but lately she's been kicking it into overdrive because both her and I, along with other GNA executives and other people here at the GNA, we're getting ready to blast off into 2026 unlike anything you've seen. This is definitely going to be an incredible start to the new year. You know, in the previous few years, we've hyped it up, and it was a good start, but it didn't go as we expected it or as we had hoped it would have gone, right? But I'm telling you, 2026, this is going to be the year of the GNA. And there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that, because we've been handling things to allow us to get to that level. And throughout the last few years, 2024 and now 2025, and we're getting towards the end, it's the end of November, getting towards the end of the year. Between 2024 and now throughout 2025, we have gotten many, many things in order. And we're ready to rock and roll. And we would love it if you could join us on this journey. It costs you absolutely nothing. If you watch our videos, you might get an ad unless you have YouTube Premium. You have no ads. But whether you have Premium or not, we get a little cut out of everyone that watches us. Everyone that watches us. And that allows us to come out here and say, hey, we're not trying to sell you anything. You can donate to the organization if you'd like, but it's not required. We would love for you to come along on this journey with us and start getting a better grip on your life and to start becoming the best possible version of yourself that you can be. All right. So you're only as strong as your weakest link. That goes in all aspects, especially if you're running a business. You're only as strong as your weakest employee, right? So if your weakest employee is causing issues and it starts to affect the business, it affects everyone, right? And so when something like that happens, you've got to tackle that immediately and resolve it one way or another. It just has to be resolved. And that's just the way business goes, right? Now, I'm going to take some time throughout the stream to respond to the only single piece of content that was made on me today throughout this drama group that involves a main creator that I am currently in a circuit civil lawsuit. I'm the plaintiff, he's the defendant. Some very noteworthy and interesting things transpired today, and only Dawn knows. I haven't even shared this with the people behind the scenes, so you folks are going to know now. And you're going to really start to see a big shift for the better for everyone. And when I say for everyone, I'm not only saying for us over here at the GNA. I'm saying that what I'm starting to see happen, I feel it's going to better even those people in the drama group. It may even start to help out the person that I've sued. Maybe he started to realize how much over dramatizing things on YouTube and really pushing things, especially during active litigation, can affect you. Maybe he's realizing that. I hope he does realize it, or he has realized it. But over the last 24 hours, some things transpired, and it's been very, very telling. But before we get to that, I want to get to the one stream that was done on me today, because some things were said on there. And the woman that ran that stream, she knew I was going to talk about this. She knew I was going to respond to it, because she knows that I know what she said about me is absolutely crap. It's just garbage. And any normal, reasonable human being, including people in their own audience, can do a simple Google search as long as they have the right information to see what's going on, okay? So this is the woman that is very close friends with the defendant that I've sued in this circuit civil case in Florida. I'm in California, he's in Florida. I had to sue him in Florida because that's where the jurisdiction on him is. And so, so this woman has been actively amplifying the defamatory things that the defendant has put out on me. In essence, they have been acting in concert. And last Friday, I filed I think it was a 41-page supplemental notice of filing of evidentiary materials for the anti-SLAPP hearing, which I have an update to that as well too. Well, I mean, okay. Why? Let me ask you a question. And you're not trolling me, but you're saying some mean things about somebody else from the defendant's group of people. Why did you feel the need to come into my chat and say that? Do you think I really care about nonsense? I mean, can we just have a positive conversation and allow me to update people regarding what's going on? Or do you need to trash people to feel good about yourself? I mean, is that why you're on this platform? I'm not going to ban you. I'm just saying, you didn't say anything negative to me. You said something negative about people on the other side. And I can understand why you feel that way. But why pour more fuel on the fire? We already know how those people behave. We already know where, they are mentally, emotionally, etc., right? Do we have to amplify it any further than what we already know? Isn't that enough? If it's not enough, then maybe your cup is not as full as you'd want it to be, and maybe you're coming out here on YouTube trying to fill a cup that's half empty, right? Or half full, right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, what was the point of that comment? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to help people turn shit around in this world that we live in nowadays, internet-based. People seem to feel the need to come out here and just kick someone else down because they're having a bad day, or they hate their life, or they're struggling with something. We all struggle through things. Why come out on YouTube, or within a YouTube live stream chat and start to project how you feel about yourself onto others? That's all I'm saying. You're not even talking anymore? Okay. One messaging out. You're not banned. All right, let's continue. So yeah, this woman did a stream on me this morning. The only piece of content on me all day. No other community postings from anyone on that end. Now, I haven't looked at the sock accounts. I really don't care. The sock accounts, they matter, but they don't matter yet. They'll matter when we hit discovery. When we hit discovery and identify them, that's when they're going to matter. But right now, they don't matter. Anyway, it's telling enough, the behavior of these people in the last 24 hours. And I wanted to share this for example purposes. The woman did a live stream today. And there were a few noteworthy things within the stream. Okay. She actually talked about how the January 9th, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you're trying to troll and give more content to the other side. You have been removed. And they're going to do what they're going to do. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so that woman in her stream, she is still talking about the January 9th date of where the motion to dismiss slash anti-slap hearing was supposed to happen, but because there was a court-initiated schedule change, and the court had to change the time from the afternoon 1:30 p.m. slot to the 9:30 a.m. slot, the judicial assistant gave the defendant and I the option to both agree to that change, or she'll give us new scheduling dates. Interesting to me how these trolls are creating accounts based on that woman's stream earlier. Who would have the time and desire, and who knows how to actually still create that many accounts on YouTube? It's Louisiana, man. Really, man. You wake up every morning and watch this, right? And then you get your suck accounts ready and you listen to everything. And so you basically name the suck accounts key bullet points of what happened. It's almost like you're giving me a transcript so I don't forget to talk about certain things. So, hey, thank you for that. I didn't forget. We'll get to the selling away thing in just a little bit because that stream was all over the place with terminology that's for different industries. That selling away terminology is for the financial services industry, FINRA, securities and annuities. I don't sell those. I never sold those. Right? That doesn't apply to property and casualty and life and health. We'll get to that in a little bit on how ridiculous. How ridiculous. Let's just go ahead and say. So they're stopping here. Okay. That means I'm going to wait. Okay. No, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to go around. They stopped right there in the red zone. Yeah, we'll get back to that in just a few here, right? But the first thing was the judicial assistant basically said, "Hey, if we both can't make that date, if we both can't make that scheduling change, to let her know, and she'll give us new dates and times." Dawn, are you excited for Thanksgiving? Says Angel's Asylum. Hey, Angel, how you doing? Dawn says hello. So hold that thought. We're going to get back to the January 9th situation because today something major happened and the defendant decided not to post it, and that's okay. Maybe he's starting to de-escalate. You know, from his live stream last night, he really didn't talk much about the situation. Jesus. I'm sorry, babe. You and I got that one at the same time, so I had to redo it. It's all good. So we'll get back to the January 9th fiasco that the defendant and his people continue to spin to this day, including this woman that he's acting in concert with. And mention it again. She did go to the website, the Judicial Automated Calendaring System, JACS. And yes, the 9:30 slot is still there. But again, she knows it, the defendant knows it, everyone else knows it. It's a placeholder. Because when the 1:30 p.m. meeting, the 1:30 p.m. hearing was canceled by a court-initiated scheduling change, JACS is an automated system that automatically shifts the meeting to the alternate docket of that day if available. So it shifted us there automatically. I did not agree to that. The defendant agreed to that. And the JA has not confirmed any hearing change at all. We might as well talk about this one first since we're already into it. So we'll just continue. I'll share this one first. We'll get into the insurance stuff and the we got to tiptoe around what's embezzlement and what's not, kind of trying to retract and kind of trying to change the story after the story's been told a million times and monetized and all that and amplified, right? Just it really really amazes me that these people are starting to finally realize the severity of this case and how my filings have pretty much put everything right in front of the judge crystal clear, right? Anyway, so I sent an email to the judicial assistant today asking her for clarity because after I told her last week that, I'm not available for the morning hearing, he sent me new dates. It doesn't matter what the defendant thinks. We both have to agree to that scheduling change and be available, right? If one of us is not available, then it doesn't matter. Then it gets rescheduled because it was a court-initiated scheduling change. Last week I emailed the defendant. I asked him to pick one of the 3 dates. All right, Raleigh, I'm going to tell you right now. You have pushed my buttons to the outer limits. I'm tired of you disrupting my chat. You're going to be getting a cease and desist soon, and you're going to be getting served. And same thing. We'll leave it at that. All right? You wanna take this level, Raleigh? Enough is enough, man. And you're not triggering Dawn or I with the talking about her daughter and all that. It's the fact that you're disrupting my chat, and it's gotten old. All right? It's gotten old, dude. Just go away. We're gonna go legal now, and just watch and see. Okay? We've already had to go legal on this situation. We're gonna go legal on you very soon. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. Keep giving me more evidence, okay? Anyway, so, babe, just keep banning him automatically. Pay close attention and just ban him right away. I don't even want to see his messages. I'm not even going to look at the messages that look trollish at all. Keep banning him, okay? Put a 1 in the chat. Mods, if you can, if you understand that. Act quickly. I don't want to be distracted by this moron. Anyway, so I sent an email to the judicial assistant asking her for clarity. Reminded her that, I've already reached out to the defendant. He declined the hearing. He's not agreeing to schedule a new hearing because the January 9th hearing is no longer an option because we both could not make that same day scheduling change. So then it goes to the next available day in the system. But, like I said, JACS, Judicial Automated Calendaring System, automatically moves the hearing over to the same day as a placeholder in the opposite docket. And the fill-in judge is actually covering Judge Stacy's docket that day under the Judge Stacy docket. And that's why you see it listed there. It's clearly just a placeholder. But soon we're going to know more because I asked the judicial assistant for clarity, and she gave me the standard response. I told her I'm not looking to I understand we can't coordinate a unilateral hearing. I'm just looking for clarity. Is the January 9th hearing, still on the court? What do you call it? Is it still on the schedule? Blah, blah, blah. The response was a little confusing, but I understand it for the most part. But the biggest part of the response was where she said that she has to refer this to the court for further evaluation or something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but basically she said in italics and lowercase bold, it wasn't shouting or anything. It was just that she's referring this to the court for further guidance on how to handle this properly, right? And what does that mean? Who's the court? The court is Judge Stacy. So in essence, the judicial assistant, with me getting back to the judicial assistant, now last week, I tried to schedule the new hearing time with the defendant. They disagreed. They were saying that I am not agreeing to a continuance. This is not a continuance. This is not a continuance. I think you know that by now. All right? I then got back to the judicial assistant, made her aware. I tried to coordinate the hearing with the defendant. They're either not understanding that January 9th is no longer on the table, or they understand it and they want to play it for YouTube theatrics. I didn't tell her that, but I said, that they declined on all 3 dates. And she gave me the standard response: I do not get involved in scheduling disputes. Then I'm like, okay, there's nothing more we can do right now besides wait until next week. So I said, I'm going to wait. I don't want to annoy the judicial assistant because I respect the court. And I think she does a great job for Judge Stacy. She's got a lot to do, right? So that's when I decided to send that email this morning, one day before the actual due date, even though I got back to the defendant last week trying to reschedule the motion to dismiss / anti-slap. And then I emailed the judicial assistant to let her know it didn't happen. Now it's like, where do we go? The hearing, I was looking to see if the 9:30 placeholder hearing was going to be removed by this point, and it wasn't. So I reached out to her for clarification on that, and she said that, you know, she's going to reach out. She's escalating this to the court for further guidance on how to properly handle this, or something like that. I can't remember the exact words. The bottom line is, the judicial assistant now has put this situation, this scheduling issue, right in front of Judge Stacy's eyes. What else do you think is going to happen? Judge Stacy's going to go and see, okay, let me go check out the docket. Let me see what's going on here. What's causing this, right? She'll go on there and see my filings compared to the defendants, compared to also the non-party person acting in concert. She'll see the latest filings are acting in concert. Boy. Now, I don't know if Judge Stacy got to this today. I emailed the judicial assistant. It was probably around 2 p.m. Eastern. And so I don't know if Judge Stacy saw it today, or Judge Stacy will see it tomorrow or sometime over the next week. But I've done my part. I've been procedurally correct. Again, the initial email that we got stated, unfortunately, the court had an unexpected scheduling change. The hearing can still be heard same day if both parties agree. If this doesn't work for either party, please let me know, and I'll send dates. How much more clearly is that stated there? Right? At this point right now, the reason why I feel the defendant has de-escalated is for one of a few reasons. Number one, he knows that January 9th is off the table. And he wants to de-escalate and move away from talking about me, which is fine. I respect that. And I want to move away from talking about the case. And as long as both him and the person acting in concert move on, then hey, I'll get back to creating 100% regular content without this. So now, Judge Stacy is going to basically pretty much order what to do here. Judge Stacy is going to tell the judicial assistant what the defendant and I can do. You know what's really sad? What's really, really sad is this person, the defendant in this case, has to make a big deal over a simple scheduling situation that was out of his control and my control. He has to make such a big deal out of it that the judicial assistant now has to get the judge involved. And just think about how the judge is going to feel that because of the fact that the defendant has not been able to agree to one of the newer hearing dates, it's holding this case back. And here's the thing. A lot of these people are saying, hey, Eli's going to have to show proof and this and that. No. There's not a judge or a court on the planet that's going to ask you for proof of why you can't make a certain court date or not. That's against the rules of due process. They won't do that. So that's irrelevant whatever these people are spinning regarding my availability on that day. I'm unavailable during that block. That's enough said. So, we're going to wait to see. Who knows? Maybe we'll hear something back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Eve. Maybe we'll hear something. I think the courts are going to be closed Thursday and Friday. If we don't hear something tomorrow, it's probably not going to be until sometime next week. So then we'll know. We'll see what happens. Now let's talk about what that woman said on her stream. Because it's obvious to me that she's trying to now de-escalate. She did not, first of all, she did not play the embezzlement video for the first time in quite a while. So that's de-escalation number one. The defendant, I believe he did not play the embezzlement video on his stream last night. De-escalation number two. Well, that was he was number one last night. She's number two on that today, right? De-escalation number three. Now she's trying to change the narrative regarding the embezzlement accusation, false accusation that her and the defendant and many others have been amplifying in concert, not only recently during this active litigation, but for many years prior to that, right? All of a sudden now, she's coming out and saying that, you know, we got to be careful. We got to be careful because on second thought or something like that, I can't remember exactly what she said. You know, and from what I heard and some other story or whatever, it's not embezzlement, right? And then she started talking about when I was an independent insurance agent broker, right? Completely oblivious to how property and casualty works. Here's the thing, ma'am. I'm not going to mention your name, but I'll just address you without mentioning your name. You're a life and health agent. I'm a property and casualty and life and health agent. I'm not active right now. My licenses are still active. I will always renew them, right? Something great to fall back on if necessary, right? And I can also talk coverage with people even if I'm not selling because I'm licensed to do so. There's a big difference between P&C and life and health, okay? Now, let me clarify something here that I believe you already know, but you have nothing left to spin to your audience. So my opinion is that you spun the last possible story you could spin to get a few clicks today or a few bucks. Okay, whatever, right? All I'm going to do is correct the record. You're talking about an FMO, right? You're talking about how could I have sold my book of business if I'm a captive agent, right? How could I have sold my business if I'm a captive agent? Well, I think you already knew that I was not a captive agent when I worked as an independent contractor for the broker that I was selling insurance for. Okay? Now, I did work for farmers for almost a year, or about a year before I started working for the broker. At that point, I was captive. And you're right. When you're captive, you cannot, the book belongs not to you. You're right about that. When you work for an independent insurance agent broker, you're completely an independent contractor. And yes, my contract, basically, there were split commissions. I had an office of customer service representatives, both in personal lines and commercial lines. Personal lines, auto, home, commercial, and then commercial lines is all commercial business related, policies, including business auto policies, etc. Right? Give me a second. I'm passing by a few people. So yes, I did have split commissions. Some of my commission basically went for the company to make profit and also to pay the customer service reps. And the rest of it was mine. And that's why I did write a lot of my policies, but all I really had to do was get the information, and my customer service departments, both in personal and commercial lines, would take care of the paperwork. And my insurance broker that I was an independent contractor for is not an FMO. There were never any lead and referral generators through that company. You see, what you're talking about is like WFO. Sorry, not WFO, WFG. I'm sure you've heard of World Financial Group. They sell like life and health and other stuff, I think annuities and all that, right? And they run their business like a MLM, known as multi-level marketing. When you're talking about FMO, you're talking about that type of structure that has multi-level. You get incentivized for bringing people on. You get a cut out of their commissions, right? And the chain goes down. And they have lead generator systems that basically, they pay people to generate leads for you. All you have to do is close the sale, right? Yeah, keep getting triggered because the truth triggers you, right? Mr. Louisiana man, it's all good. I'll correct the record every time, right? So no, my broker that I was an independent contractor for is not an FMO. There was no lead generator, okay? Yes, there were split commissions. And just so you know, yes, the book of business was 100% mine until I sold it to them when I left, when I resigned. Additionally, what's the other thing? What is the other thing? What the hell is the other thing that she was talking about? Let's see. What was the other thing? I cannot remember. So, no FMO. Fully independent, not captive. Oh, another thing you mentioned. You see, I was an independent insurance agent / broker for a broker that had hundreds of carriers that I could put business through. But they were not, and we were not appointed through every carrier. My contract along with all other contracts, we were called in-house producers, but we could also work from home or on the road. Our contract is that we get to keep our book, and also we can get appointments through other carriers on our own if the company's not appointed with them. Our contract also stated that we do not have to produce business exclusively with them. Now, most of us in-house producers, yes, we knew the owners, we loved the company, and it was just much easier to use their connections, get things approved, etc. Have the customer service reps take care of most of the paperwork. Now, I did a lot of paperwork myself, but, without the help of the customer service reps, both in personal and commercial lines, it would have been overwhelming for all of us, for all of the producers. Okay? So, I hate to burst your bubble. And look, whatever you want to do, you want to spin it out of context, people can go and look and see. Okay? And let me just say this, Jack, I'll mention your name, Jack, it's just first name, right? Jack, you're still bored up there in Washington or wherever you're at, right? Were you the one that came off or came up with that sell away? Sell away is a term for financial services like stocks and all that stuff. I don't have a securities license, Jack. So, and see, Jack, I'll tell you what. All you want is the Eli drama to keep going because you're just a miserable person that, I don't know. Listen, if you're going through health stuff, God bless you. But if you're going through health stuff and you're trying to basically keep the slander going as your entertainment, that's pretty crappy, dude. It's pretty crappy, right? But no one's buying it. No one's buying it, Jack. No one's buying it, right? I don't even think the woman that did the stream earlier, Jack, believed any of it. She was performing. It's all performance, right? So, that was my book. I sold my book. And that's that. Period. End of story. I'm here to correct the record tonight. From this point on, if anyone in that group re-amplifies that same story, at that point, it's going to be defamatory. I'm here to correct the record. And it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what I think. It matters what my lady Dawn thinks. It matters what the people that care for us over here think. And the people that care for us over here are beginning to see the light. They're beginning to see the light. So we took care of the judicial assistant thing today. We'll see what happens. But now Judge Stacy is involved. However long it takes her, I mean, it might take a week or two, but it's not going to take months because the longer Judge Stacy takes to rule on this January 9th situation, because the defendant can't pick a date and doesn't understand that that court-initiated change, hearing change, had to be agreed by the both of us. And if one of us didn't agree or don't agree, then it goes to the next available hearing date. I think that's another reason why the defendant is now saying, I'm kind of tired of this, and, I'm not going to be really talking much about this anymore. Every now and then I'll probably pop on in, right? Well, now that January 9th isn't happening, and you wanted to use it as your content. See, I'm not doing this for content. All I'm doing is correcting the record. I will correct the record every time that you guys say something about me or do something about me that's improper or incorrect, right? I will correct the record. That's all. I correct the record. And that's why I think he's not talking about this, because he knows that he pushed it. He pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and amplified and used the other woman to amplify. And they thought that it was going to squash me and leave me in the dust, right? But all it did is make matters worse for all of them, especially the defendant. All right, we're back live. We're back live. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Put a one in the chat if you can see me and hear me clearly. Hear me and see me. Sorry, I had to go offline for a second. There were some people on the bike riding by. Thanks, babe. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don. We are at 51 minutes. We're going to wrap this up in 10 to 15 minutes. We're not going to go like almost 2 hours like we did yesterday. That was a nice 5-mile walk. I would probably say about 2.5 miles of it was in the parking lot, but I got 5 miles in. It's all good. It's like 52 degrees. I didn't put my gloves on. My hands are not really that cold. Like, I don't really need to put gloves on until it gets below 50. But I'm sure we're going to have weather in the 40s coming, like in December. The weather for Thanksgiving is supposed to be nice, which is great, because I'd rather, drive in nice weather. You're really annoying, Louisiana man. I'm not triggered, but you're really annoying. And I know you're trying to intentionally annoy myself and our people here, right? It is annoying what you're doing, and that's why you're doing it. And that's just really sad, man. You really have a reckless disregard for life, sir. In my opinion, for your lifestyle. It's just ridiculous. One day, you're going to get back what you put out. That's all I got to say. So yeah, it's been pretty quiet, which is nice. If these people stay quiet, they stop. They continue to stop republishing the embezzlement video. They continue to make up lies about me. Then I will not have to correct the record, at least for the time being, hopefully forever. And it all makes sense, it all makes sense because, when I filed that filing, the first one was the 41-page filing of acting in concert, very, very, very clearly showing that with crystal clear screenshots and stating everything perfectly, timestamps, videos attached. I mean, undeniable evidence, right? And then I filed the ODN witness statement, or it's an affidavit. It's not even a witness statement; it's an affidavit. We keep calling these witness statements, and a witness statement is actually something that is made at a hearing, because you cannot make a witness statement unless you give the other side a chance to cross-examine you. Now, you can write an affidavit under penalty of perjury and give it to the party that you're writing it for, and the party, the defendant or the plaintiff, they have to file it for the person, and it has to be an affidavit. Now, if people list it as a witness statement, the court will still accept it. But when you file it, you do what's called a notice of filing affidavit of, in this case, of ODN. And then you have your filing page explaining what you're filing. You have respectfully submitted on this date, you sign it, and then you have your certificate of service, and then followed by the filing. And that's that. And ODNs, I want to wrap up by saying this. I didn't get a chance to say it last night. ODN, God bless you. God bless you, ODN. Was very well written. And I was also talking with Don earlier today that over the last 6 to 8 years, there were periods of time where I did not follow the defendant and I didn't keep up with his content, but ODN did. And so ODN has seen things and has videos and evidence that I don't have. So that's why he wanted to write an affidavit. And then a lot of people are saying on the other side, what ODN is putting in there isn't true. Well, he will have an opportunity to provide his evidence and testimony once we get to discovery. We can do depositions with ODN. We can depose the woman that the defendant is acting in concert with. Apparently, I forgot, there's one more thing. I'm so glad I remembered this before we went off the air. There's something new about the woman that did the stream this morning, the one acting in concert with the defendant. You folks want to hear that new aspect? So, give me a second, I'll be right back, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. We're back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Thanksgiving reminds us that the greatest gifts are the people at our table. Have a great night. Thank you, babe. She puts a 1 in. Okay. So, that woman sent the judicial assistant in my case with the defendant another email today asking again for a hearing as a non-party. The JA responded to her and said, I am not permitted to schedule, I know I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but it's to this extent. I am not permitted to schedule a hearing with a non-party. And then she goes, for further information, or if you need additional information or something like that, or help or whatever, please contact an attorney or something like that. So she does a stream the other day. Is making a big deal about this non-party filing, saying that she's able to do it without filing leave of court or a motion to intervene after getting leave of court, right? She feeds ChatGPT a bunch of information to get ChatGPT to spit out something that suits her narrative, right? But then she emails the JA, and the JA shut her down again. The judicial assistant shut her down again. I have a lot of respect for the judicial assistant, the JA. Got people coming. I have a lot of respect for the JA, and a lot of respect for Judge Stacy and her her courtroom. And they are handling this with the utmost level of professionalism, and words cannot describe how thankful and grateful I am for that. So yeah, I almost forgot a major part here. She tries again to email the JA, judicial assistant, and the judicial assistant said, I'm not permitted to schedule a unilateral hearing for a non-party. I think that's what it was. Not exactly verbatim, but close to it. Give me a second. I'll be right back. There's one more line. I want to make sure I get this. I have it in the email. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. We're back live. Put a one in the chat, please. The JA also said, if you need assistance, you may want to consult with an attorney. Something like that. If you need assistance, you may want to consult with an attorney. I'm going to give my opinion about the JA's interpretation. And in other words, I think she's saying that you either don't understand procedure or you need to knock off the nonsense. But they're not going to say that. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Right? I got to tell you. Let me tell you. The JA and the judge are not stupid. The JA and the judge are not stupid. They know what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if the JA has tuned into some of the streams going on to get a little context for the judge. Now, like I'll say again here tonight, there's nothing wrong with talking about your public case that you filed in a cool, calm, and collected manner. I'm not even mentioning names of those people involved. I am being respectful. I'm not defaming them. I'm not harassing them. I'm not saying anything that's not true. And if it's regarding something that is speculative, I'll state it as opinion. Nothing wrong with that. That's all protected First Amendment speech. Accusing someone of embezzlement, saying you believe it, making parody videos of it, premiering parody videos, then 2 days later, making a snippet, a YouTube short about it, amplifying it. Then you get that other person to amplify it, the woman that's been trying to intervene in this case. She thinks she has rights as a non-party. You don't have really any rights as a non-party besides requesting leave of court and filing a motion to intervene. You got shut down by the GNA. She's even said before, you are not a party to the case. Today, she said that she's not permitted to schedule a unilateral hearing with a non-party. That clearly states that you're a non-party and you have no rights in this case unless you request leave of court and file a motion to intervene once you get leave of court. I'm being a nice guy and telling you how to handle this. If the GA was watching this, she'd be like, the plaintiff's trying to help you, ma'am. No, she can't say that. She has to be professional. I get that, right? I mean, she doesn't want to file leave of court. She doesn't want to, and she doesn't want to be legally a part of the case because then she's going to be really held accountable, right? Right now, she's like supporting evidence. She requests leave of court and then files a motion to intervene. And then if Judge Stacy even approves her in a minimal capacity, she'll be open to sanctions. She'll be open to punitive damages. She'll be open to conduct terms, meaning a protective order. She doesn't want any of that. She knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. You do know what you're doing. But I know what I'm doing too. And so does the GAA, so does Judge Stacy. And they also know that YouTube theatrics don't work in court. Wow, babe, you've gotten really good. I tell you, babe, are you still there? I saw you've gotten really good. You're pretty quick, babe. Yes. All right, we're at 68 minutes. I got to wrap this up. Get your final questions, comments, or concerns. We're going to go off the air in a few minutes. I'm going to walk down this strip one last time. Get a few more steps in. Like another quarter mile in or something, or maybe eighth of a mile. And then I'm going to go off the air. You're only as strong as your weakest link. That works for everybody. Just think about this. And again, thank you to my lovely lady Dawn for suggesting this, for coming up with this topic. It was a great idea. Everybody, when this show is over, think about who your weakest link is in your life. And if that person was not a part of your life or closely associated to you, how much better would your life be? How much would that improve your life? Because you're only as strong as your weakest link. You're only going to be as successful as your weakest link. I've said it before many times, and I'll say it again. You are who you associate with. You are who you associate with. If you associate with people that are stuck on stupid, like my lady Dawn has said many times this past year, right? If you associate with many people that are stuck on stupid, then you're going to be stuck on stupid most of the time. Right? And if that's the way that you want to live your life, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, hey, Ball Tires, good stream. Have a great night. Oh, you heard the whole thing? Did you catch all the new info? You heard what's going on, right? Now, I don't know where ODN's at. I would love for ODN to go live. That would be nice. Like my lady and I we enjoy ODN streams. We do, huh, babe? I did. I don't know what makes them tick. Well, I can say this with sincerity. For the first time that I've known these people, for the first time ever, I'm seeing the defendant de-escalate. Do I think he's doing it because he wants to do it? No. I think he's doing it because of what he said on this show last night. Right? Basically, the risk isn't worth the reward. Right? He said diminishing returns. Yeah. You overplayed your hand, sir, in my opinion. And it should be a fact because that's why we're in court. You overplayed your hand. You overplayed your hand on me. And not only did it get you sued, it also has started to dry up your donations. That's not my fault. That's your fault. I have the right to defend myself against you making money off my name by defaming me. That's called defamation for dollars. But what's even more ironic is the fact that now he has, at least for the time being, and I hope it stays this way, he stops defaming me, and then his returns start diminishing. Oh, is that pattern by coincidence? Is that a coincidence? I mean, anything is possible, right? But is it coincidence that he stops defaming me and then the donations start to dry up? He starts talking about diminishing returns. The risk isn't worth the reward anymore because there's really not much of any of a reward, right? Right? But I'll say this, for the very first time since I've known the defendant, at least for the time being, he's starting to de-escalate. He did say, I may talk about it every now and then. We'll see. We'll see. I hope he keeps his word because I really don't want to have to correct the record anymore. I'm tired of correcting the record. I'll keep correcting the record whenever anyone tries to taint my name and people I care for and my business brand and all that. So I hope he's not sitting there posting right now, reacting to this, because then it would just be contradicting what he said. Unless he counts it as okay every now and then, Okay. Hi, Don says ball tires in the rain. All right, time to go 74 minutes. Love you all. Going to go enjoy some dinner with Don. It's been a lovely day. An hour and 14 minutes. 74 minutes, an hour and 14 minutes. Have a good one. Oh, yeah, please smash thumbs up and share this out. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.